Welcome everybody, welcome to the evening session of the live FB with Martin TF1, and I'm your host Martin Wong in here, also market strategist for Trade VSA and also the father of Smart Robie. And I hope many of you get to know us through Smart Robie, and hopefully you have done pretty well using Smart Robie. If you have not done very well, do inform us and let us reach you out there and help you to do better, as there are opportunity both in the KLSE market. So do let us know, and we really want to reach out to you and really help you in there. And for those of you who have written to us through WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, we hope we have answered you in there. And also thank you again for those of you who have supported us earlier by giving us a feedback on our Google Play Store and also Apple Store as well as our feedback. We thank you very much, and we very cherish your token appreciation. That's such that we are here like to give you back something about why you should diversify to the US market, and that's what the talk is all about. It's all about Uncle Sam. All right. Now last year when we were talking about President Donald Trump. Now we'll be talking about Biden. So why US? Now US in short is a market of innovation, technology, solution and growth, and that's what's the context they are talking about. Of course, those of you who are first time, do join our Telegram chat room for all information that you have, and definitely will put you into the right frame of mind. That's right. So do join us this Telegram chat, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube. So if you subscribe to our YouTube, you'll be informed even tonight. That's right. Tonight, this presentation will be recorded and will be archived into the YouTube, so you can re-watch it again. If you can see some of the material that we cover were rubber glove, then we talk about renewable energy, we talk about rotational play, we talk about Biden and Trump in here. We cover every specific topic which is relevant to the market in here this morning. And of course, some of you may have certain topic that you want me to cover. Feel free, just pencil in here, Martin, why don't you take a look at this and what do you think of that? And that's what we always do, because at the end of it, I'm also managing my own clients' money as well as my money. And most difficult one is to manage your wife's money. Correct, no, right? Yeah, I think you all know about that one, isn't it? So if you can handle your wife's money, right? Because if you don't make money every day, you see funny faces. I think so. Some of the information we want to present in here, it's also very important to let you know that there are opportunities, and definitely YouTube is just one channel to reach out to us for all the material if you have missed out. Of course, not forgetting our Flagstaff smart app, which is a feature-rich stock market application that's available today. And to be frank with it, it's almost free, because most of the time after office trading hour, you can use it free. And I always notice from my server side around 11 o'clock where Smart Robie get updated, actually about 10:30 get updated, and we get a huge surge of usage. And I think tonight too, it's probably no difference in here. And we really appreciate your support, and I hope Smart Robie has given you a lot of joy, as we have got a lot of joy from building it up, creating it for you too. That's right. And you can also download. And also this month's special, as we are launching our new facelift of our Smart Robie, you can if you share with your friend, and you will get 400 credits that you can use and register for our one-day value growth investing course, which is on track. And that's the one I'll be talking about Bitcoin too. So make sure you get into that one. So that will ensure you will put you in the right spot. That's right. Now make sure you share that with your friend, and once they share it, they will download, use your referral code, and they'll be updated. All right, thank you again. So also not forgetting those of you any potential stock for this week and coming week. There was a question. Do check out our breakfast show on the Smart Robie FB Top. That's the one I'm talking about. And also some of the highlight of our past immediate trades that we have picked up. Okay, and certainly from the trending list way back to 23rd, and last week we pick up on 3rd of March. Of course, not every trade we pick up will do well, and some of them have done, like if you can see item number 1 to item number 9, many of them are really technology stock, and we're seeing technology really move up over the couple of 2 months since December, January and February. But right now we have a different scene, and of course I will also show you those in here. And tonight, some of you want me to talk about digital banking. Unfortunately, I won't be talking that because the topic tonight is specific to the US market. So do take note of that one in here. It's all about US market in here. Okay. Any stock comment, we will do it in the breakfast show. Okay, do take note. I think some of you may already know that's the format that we do in here. And of course, we really want to oblige to many of you who've been really supporting us in here to get things going. All right, let's move on to next. So right now, meanwhile, the Malaysian economy remain to be very positive. As we can see, vaccine rollout in here. The World Bank has come in. Many of our local analysts are giving, and also our export are also recovering. But do take note, one of the biggest revenue earner are two things. Okay, one will be oil and gas. Now remember, the budget 2020, our budget was done on the $45 US or $50 US budget for the oil prices. That's right. And now oil prices is about $75 in there. So that's a lot of surplus of money, isn't it? Right? And not to forget CPO prices. That's right. CPO is touching just short of 20 ringgit to 4,000 ringgit CPO. The last time we had that was 2008, and it was what we call a durian runto for the CPO planter. So things are certainly looking very rosy. But of course, many of you will also comment, now we have even a more divided political party, the DAP, and the PKR, and are they going to be joint coalition with UMNO, or UMNO is going to be with Bersatu or PAS? So all those, again, is pening. Very, very pening, even for me also, to not to know. So if I'm pening, marine foreign funds are, like it or not, they are coming in right now. I will show you the next chart in here, but not coming in a big way. Not until they see some sort of stability. You can see the market, then we will get the big move out there. So meanwhile, economy is still good, but many of you will ask me the question, will we exceed the KLSE high, KLSE high, about 1884? Right now, we are about we passed the 1637, which I'm going to show you in here, but it's yet to be seen whether we'll get up there in here. But tonight, towards the end of this presentation, you will know where we stand, and hopefully you are able to make a good decision for yourself based on the information that I have. Of course, this live FB show that I do every Wednesday, continue to follow us and you'll be updated for the most great information in here. Now, meanwhile, we all know, right, tech stocks have been really booming, and this was on CEO Age on the 26th of February, maybe just 2 weeks ago. Everyone is talking about how was great the tech stocks. We have all, and you have seen, right, the early on the trending list that I have, going back, some about 60%, 40%, and we picked them through the trending list of Smart Robie, right? Of course, many of you who are not well trained yet, and probably you just want to wait, see, and wait. By the time go high and we buy, right? What happened? Go high and we buy, the thing collapse, right? So that is usually what happened. So when you thought it was safe to buy tech stock, suddenly market dropped, and it did drop a lot, almost 15.9%, and this is from the Bursa technology stocks. So many times we all felt that the market in and then boom. But like it or not, the analysts, and this is on today's, on the Starbase 10th of March, they do say that, look, as much as the tech is still intact. Now, how many of you think that what I've said is quite true? Type in technology stock. I'm talking about not just 3 months, but going forward, what we call the post-COVID here. What do you think? Do you think tech stock will continue to dominate? If you do, just type it in there, type tech stock, and also give me a thumbs up too, to know that you guys are not sleeping. That's right. So this is where the tech stock is still intact going forward in there. So just type in there if you think the tech stocks is still intact. Also, very important, yes, that's right. So the tech stock is still intact. And again, many of you may feel differently, but it's always good to have some sort of a knowledge in the background, because when you go over to the US, there is a lot of variable that you need to know, but we will clear them as we go. All right. So let's look at it. So let's look at the next is the foreign fund flow. Now pay attention to the 25th of February. The 25th of February, that's right. Now the 25th February, we let me just bring this out, and you can bring up my laser pointer here, and you can see immediately we have found, now the green one are foreign fund flowing in. The red one are flowing out, and this, the blue line, is the KLCI line. So of course, you can get this trade VSA Bursa foreign fund flow daily, updated through our plugin package. And those of you interested, that's the number you can call on the right hand side and to subscribe to our package. If not, this is what I normally update you. So you can see that the 25th of November was very interesting date. As you can see, foreign funds started to buy from the 25th, and they're buying more. Even yesterday, on the 9th, they're buying more. I'm not sure about tonight. I think tonight also buy. You can see that buying here that you see here. All right, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 occasion correspond with the uplift of going now. Now, of course, some of you and myself do think that, look, with the GE15 coming up, they might get out. We don't know yet, but right now we are seeing this flow of money coming in, and they're flowing into finance sector. That's right, because we did talk about earlier on where the interest rate remained to be very low because Bank Negara is not going to cut interest rate inside here. So banks should do well, and we see a lot of uptick, a lot of movement. But also another sector that has done well is construction sector, which are good. Now, having said that, to me, this is the KLSE leading indicator, the foreign fund flow. Take note of that one. All right. So also at the same time, I want to just update you guys the which I normally do on the breakfast show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So make sure you join me. Is the Green Pentagon. Now the Green Pentagon came in last Wednesday. That's right. So it's really no big of a surprise that it did break up. All right. So when you see Green Pentagon in here, you want to have a full 1 month. That's right. 1 month of green zone. That means the market going up. If you notice the last few, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turun. This one lagi teruk. 4 day turun. But right now, we have tonight also up another, I think up another 11 points, isn't it? And let me just show you in here. Is it up 11 points? Yes. It's up 15 points tonight. The closing is 1639. So this will be updated to 1639, and volumes are coming in, and that's certainly a good thing. So uptrend is coming up, and guess what? I'm back roaring the bulls in the market. But of course, those of you who've been following me on Smart Robie every day, you know about this, because this information I continue to update you every day, so you'll keep track of it. And you can see this market really breaking up in here. So you can see this, our show, the Trade VSA, is really a source of information for you to get updated. Okay, so this market is certainly going up here, and it's looking good. So having said that, the relative industry that we are looking on right now, very hot, is sector analysis. That's right. You can see sector analysis inside here. That's the one we can see. The green is this week, and of course you can use this through your login. Let me just log in back to your old dashboard that you have. This is definitely in there, and you can see finance, construction, consumer, those are coming back. But on the healthcare, they have fallen a fair bit. But I think Top Glove just reported their earnings, and they're doing one of the best, almost 24 times best. But why are they moving? I think some of you also commented, why isn't the market tak jalan for the rubber glove? It will. Just wait for the Green Pentagon. Okay, so every day just open up your Smart Robie and flick, wait for the Green Pentagon in here. So you can also see that construction and finance. So having said that, and those of you who have our Trade VSA plugin, use the login that is given, you can definitely see Gamunda being a construction in here. You can see the construction here. And that was yesterday. Of course, this was yesterday's list, and after 10 o'clock, we will have an updated list also. You will definitely see the construction here. Gamunda has a very beautiful line change, and also IJM. Those are the stocks that are picking up. But some of you may are looking at, why is the construction coming back? Because I think there will be potentially some project being dished out. With general election coming in here, there will be some beneficial companies be getting this. This is usual in the sense of the Malaysian politics. Do you agree or not? Those GLC, if you do just type GLC when it comes to election coming, and it's not that far away, isn't it? When we have the 14th general election in 2018 and almost now 2023, just more short of 3 years. Coming this May with 3 years, we have another round of election. Okay, so that's what's happening now. Construction is hot right now. So go in and take a look at Gambuda and IJM. All right. So, okay, let's turn our attention now to President Biden. You can see in the picture just above me here, right? And many times again, it is facing the resistance at it is holding above 31,000. That definitely you can share. So 30,000 is here, and because of the market fall off of what we call the 10-year U Treasury, which I will share with you one slide inside, it has upthrust on this Dow Jones in here, and tonight will be the deciding, or at least to Friday, whether it will break through. And if it does break through this upthrust that you see in here, we will soon get another green pentagon going forward for the US Dow Jones here. And partly, many of you also type in, like Steve talked about the 1.9 trillion COVID, which will be passed on to the Senate. It's already been passed. It's just that they're going through the normal, pitching to the public and also to the press. Although many of the Republican say no. Republican will just say no one to anything that you say. So this is the so-called tribal fight between the Republican and the Democrats, and we will continue to see this even going to the mid-year election in 2022, which is very fast. You come to think of it, with just another 1 year or more. But right now, the first 100 days of Joe Biden is tackling the COVID-19 and then the climate change, and then following by the border. You can see right now there are about 110,000 people coming into the Mexican border. These are people seeking political asylum, and because they are more receptive to President Trump in here. So let's move forward, and what we have in here now, I'm going to ask everyone in here, do you know any of this person in here? Just type it in there. Okay, maybe you know 4. The one in the middle, you don't know who. Correct. Just type it in there. If you know any of this person in here, just type it in there, and let's have a bit of fun. Okay, these 5 person have something in common. Okay. Okay. Yes, I'm seeing those coming in here. Yes, everybody know Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, right? But the guy in the middle, you may not know. Now, do take note. In 2021, these are some of the top 5 richest people in the world. And they have something in common. That's right, Bernard. That's right. And that is Bernard Arnault and the family. So this is the richest people in the world in 2021. This is the latest list, and Warren Buffett now is number 5 already. Sudah jatuh, tum. All right. So you have Jeff Bezos still, and Amazon right now is about almost $3,000. Elon Musk, I think he's going to worth more with the investment that he had on Bitcoin. As I said before, Bitcoin is 50. Last check just now was 56,000, and I think coming to this Friday, 58,000 or 60,000 a hit. A little bit will tell me 100,000 Bitcoin is there. What do you think? Those who are Bitcoin lover or Bitcoin craze, all right? And definitely next week we will talk about Bitcoin valuation in value growth investing, where at least some of you are able to participate in it. So in here, all these 5 richest person in here, they have something in common. They have their money in the US market. That's right, they have the money in US. So these are 5 of the most recognized brand in the world. I think I don't need to say it in here, right? Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. That's right. As I said before, day in, day out, every day that we are, the instrument that we use, the devices, our phones, we will have some of these chips inside. Even right now, our broadcast is through our Facebook. That's right, our Facebook in here, and you will probably use Google Mail. So these are synonymous, just like our household product, like our ketchup, our water, our oranges, our food that we take. So these are one of the recognized in here. Now, if you look back, the NYSE stands for New York Stock Exchange, and the NASDAQ, which actually refer to, that's another tough name in here. I can't remember the thing, but basically it stands for a lot of those technology stock where they are listed. Now, both of them are actually in New York in there, and you can see New York Stock Exchange, which is whole Alibaba, is about 31%, one of the largest, and one square is worth 100 billion. One square is worth 100 billion. You can see New York Stock Exchange, the largest, followed by NASDAQ, and then by Japan, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Euronext, Shenzhen, London, TMX, and all other exchange, which is 21%. Nowhere to be found is KLSE. And all in, is total about 89, almost $90 trillion in here. Now, if you look at the top brands, okay, the top brands in here, Microsoft, remember, one square box is 100 million. One square box is 100 million in here. So you can see the Microsoft is also close to another 100 billion times how many boxes that you see? 10, 20 boxes. Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, that's for Google and also Facebook. These guys are really, really huge, you know, going forward. And they are in our household every day. No doubt about it. And they're also the fangs early on. So having said that, this is why we see what we see today. And also the US market, they are one of the largest consumer market in this table in here. You can see US consume almost 13.3 trillion of goods and services, followed by European Union, China, Japan, Germany, UK. So that's something that we cannot ignore. So that is why, you know, US is one of the largest household brand name in here, and also due to the enormous population that they have. They are about 330 million compared to Euro. I can't remember. China is about 1.8 billion. So you can see, you know, the number of people that they have are very small, but yet they are one of the biggest consumption of consumer products in the world in here. And also why US market. If you can see on the right hand side, the largest market, company by market, you have Nike, you have Microns, you have the Las Vegas Sands, you have Chipotle, ExxonMobil, Apple, FedEx, Coca-Cola. So those are very, very big. Comcast, you know, Cloudpeak, so JP Morgan in New York, and this Goldman Sachs, right? So these are some of the most successful global company, and we all know entrepreneur and all the business sense, they were a big dominance after the Second World War, and that has sort of moved on. You know, it also has one of the highest volume of liquidity, as I shared before. One little small box is about 100 billion. And many of our day-to-day items which we go in and research material, news coverage, we turn on the TV, Bloomberg, we have CNN, we have Fox, right? We have a BBC, and it's mainly very focused to the US market. And right now, if I turn it on, you'll see CNN talking about the Dow Jones opening tonight in here. As such, it has become so big that the high market capitalization are able to reduce market manipulation. And sometimes we always say it, our Malaysian market, the volume is so low that our small cap stock so easy to manipulate. But in US, it's not easy unless they have a big, huge amount of money. I'm not saying it cannot be done. I'm saying it's more difficult in here. And US market are the key mover for the rest of the world. So sometimes we always listen to US. Oh, what are they going to announce? What is a US FOMC Jerome Powell is going to do? What is the Donald Trump policy is going to be? And you all know that every morning in the breakfast show, I also talk about the US market in there. If you can follow US market, then you will always be in the right frame of mind. And later on, I'll also compare the KLSE compared to the US bank. So there's a good security, commission control, and also transparency, being a very institutional of integrity. The New York Stock Exchange, as well as the NASDAQ, which is in New York, has been the forefront over the last 100 years inside there. That's right. Okay. I hope this just sort of some sort of the background I want to give you why US is what it is today, and it's going to get bigger. That's right. It's going to get bigger in here. Now, let's look at some terminology. I going to remind, this is only as technical as it can get. So the US market capitalization terminology, we have the mega cap, which is above 200 billion. Even one stock already are bigger than KLSE, just like, you know, Apple, right? Bigger than the KLSE. Yeah. So we have mega cap above 200 billion, and this has made a lot of sense because ever since the COVID-19, you can see a lot of stocks due to the work from home policies, they has gone up 200%, 300%, isn't it? Even the Bitcoin is the same thing. We're going to get a lot of millionaire among MU. And how many of you are into the Bitcoin? Type in there, BTC. And I tell you, some of you are going to become millionaire very, very soon. All right, if we continue to hold on at this rate where it's going. And definitely US market is one way. At the end of the day, we always have to ask ourselves, we cannot continue to rely on one source of income, which is our day-to-day income. We need to learn how to invest, and definitely US market does give us this. Do you agree or not? If you agree, give me a thumbs up while I get a sip of water, okay? So the large and mid-cap stocks continue to dominate many parts of the US market, and you can see We have also the nano cap. Those are very small ones, less than 50 million in here. All right. Okay, now I'm going to ask everybody in here, what has been the top performing sector for the last year? Anybody can just type in your answer. All right, just type in the answer. What is the top performing sector for the last year? It doesn't take a genius, isn't it? Type in your answer there, okay, just to test you whether you know or not. What is the top performing sector for the last year? Anybody? Aha, very easy, isn't it? Top performing sector last year. Glove, that's right, it's under healthcare. What else? Healthcare, technology, and consumer products. Some industrial product has done pretty well. What hasn't been performing the last year? The travel and the leisure, isn't it? And property. Okay, so it's very simple, isn't it? So when you know that certain segment during booming time will do well, and that's the one that you want to go in. Thank you for those of you who have keyed in here. Thank you very much, insight there. And of course, the person, this time we talk about one of the richest person in the world, number 5. Okay, I think it's worth about 95 billion. It's no other than this gentleman on the left side, Warren Buffett. Now, Warren Buffett, you know, he has a share called Berkshire Hathaway in here. I know he started investing way back to 1960 plus, but let's talk about the modern investing from 1987. Okay, Warren Buffett has beaten S&P for almost 3 decades. Okay, 3 decades and 30 years, but except for 2009, they hasn't been performing. So if you look at the Warren Buffett versus the S&P 500, 100 ringgit invested in his stocks will become 8,000 ringgit. That is a compound of 14.9%. So keep in mind, because I'm going to give you a quiz later on, 14.9%, and while S&P has only performed 9.4%. But we have seen 2018, 19 and 20, that has changed a lot. But I'll update you this chart in here. Now, along the same line, Warren Buffett, there are many investors in here. And like you know, he is considered one of the greatest value investors on all time. And this year, he turned 90 years old. So you can see he's been working for 55 years. It's 90. So at 35 years, he came out and become an analyst. And those of you who are below 35 years, if you're below 35 years, just type in there, below 35. And you're above 35, type in there. So think of it, Warren Buffett being an investor, this skill that he has, and I think many of you eventually will get it, can use it on the way to 90 years old, right? Of course, some of you say 90 years cannot. Look at Dr. Mahathir. He is 94, right? Isn't it? And yet still so sharp. So is Warren Buffett. There is a secret to longevity. Make sure you have money and you know how to invest, okay? Unless you're a politician in Malaysia, most of us, you and me, we fall into this line. So right now, in here, you can see, comparing to many other investors, we have Walter Stroke, John Templeton, George Soros in here, Anthony Bolton, Jim Rogers, right? And they all at least have 10 years. I have to say, I have 10 years, 15 years of experience in here, and my returns is about 12 or 13%. I'm somewhere around like Peter Lynch here, to be frank with you. And that is my unofficial record in here. But I have to continue to work for another 20 or 30 years. That's right. I think Liana got it right. Age is just a name in here. But it simply tells you investing is a one way that, perhaps will outgrow a lot of, even our children, to be frank with you. If you learn how to invest, because the children will only stay with you until a certain amount of time. After when they grow up and they're married, they're sort of going to be leaving the house. You still need something in life to occupy you. And to me, investing or trading is my first love. And why I share you this in here, if you can do what Warren Buffett did at 90 years old, he is one of the richest, right? He had a lot of time to accumulate his wealth, and he certainly did it the right way. We can see back in 87, 1967, and it continued to go on to here. Because I want to talk about facts. I don't want to talk about all this, nice car or whatever the case is, like BMW car. But we want to talk about, how we want to continue to do this. All right. It is, I think, will keep you youthful. The way you're, be investing, like me, continue to update. In many ways, I always share, when I'm able to talk to you through live Facebook, update you this information, it keeps me very, very sharp. Because many of you are very smart investor, very smart audience and you ask smart question too. You don't ask silly question. You ask, how can we do it better, Martin? How can I be a bit more like you? How can I, use the tools that you're using? And those are some of the things that Warren Buffett has done. And I think doing things which is very similar, we will get there, getting to 90 years old. I want to live to 90 years old, but I also want to have money at 90 years old. I think that's that lesson to be learned inside here. But having said that, Berkshire Hathaway biggest investment you can see is definitely in Apple. And those are really traditional. Apple being the only one that is outside of the technology in here. Delta, banks. He sold the Southwest and the Delta. He lost money this year in March. And also Visa, I still had it. However, his shares hasn't fared very well since 2009, where we have the low interest rate. And ever since low interest rate has come into the regimen, it has made him very, very difficult to perform, and the technology stock pick up. So the only tech stock that he has was only Apple. Now let's talk about the president, because in US, American politics is very, very dominant. Do you agree or not? All right, American politics is dominant. If you do, just type politics. Okay, so I hope that again. So if you look in it between the Democrat and the Republican, okay, the Democrat is President Biden lah. President Biden, you can say like Pakatan lah. Republican last time we called BN but then we don't have BN, we have PN now. So I do not know where PN falls. It's neither Republican or neither Democrat. So it's very hard to say who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, right? There's no really bad guy, good guy. It's just how the interpretation of the conservative traditional of the Republican, which we call GOP, Grand Old Party. So you can see the Republican, you see the red line, and in the last 50 years, they have held the presidential over 28 years, and the Democrats is only 22 years. So lately going forward, as the demographics of US continue to change, they were a very young nation, and they're grown up to 330 million. Partly is because of the huge migration that they have from the south, like now in Texas and also in Arizona. A lot of the Mexican border people are coming in here, so you're going to get more and more diverse society, and that's going to change the demographics of the US in here. So going forward, I do believe Americans are becoming more and more social. There's nothing wrong with that. But of course, if you look at it from a Republican standpoint, they may not like it. They want to stay to very traditional, just like Donald Trump, America first, or the MAGA, make America great again. But more importantly to today, in the context of the US market, okay, the context of the US market, we want to talk about the stock returns. So you can see in here, the stock market returns were 992%, okay, and compared to Republican 109%, because a lot of Republicans in the past, including Donald Trump, coming into the president of 2020 during the last election in here, he said that, look, if I did not get elected for the second term, the stock market will fail, right? So many of you who are uneducated or uninformed will probably fall for that thing and say that, yeah, we all need Donald Trump. But that's not the truth. So the truth here is for me to fact check and to clarify with you. So you can see right now on the next slide, right, Donald Trump always said that, look, the stock market does better under me, Trump. So if you look at between the red state, or in this case, red is Republican, the blue is Democrat, and you have Donald Trump, the last term that they have 4 years, okay, was 69.9%. But if you look at Obama, the first term was 84%, and the second term was 52%. You go back to Clinton, 79%, Clinton, 72%, okay, and Bush Jr. and Bush, the last two terms, market also fell. So you see Bush Senior 51%. Reagan was a time where after the Vietnam War, Jimmy Carter and the Nixons. So that's where you see a big boom, right? And then Clinton took over. Again, depending on what context, some of you may say the best president from a Republican has always been Reagan. After that is Donald Trump. Then if you see from a Democrat, it's definitely Obama. If not for Clinton, of the Clinton scandal that they have, which is a relationship we have with Monica Lewinsky. You all still know about that one, right? And that was a big hoo-ha in the White House. So right now, Biden has his mandate right now. And right now, it's up 2%. You can see inside here. But I think going forward, how many of you think, what kind of returns will Biden do? Just type it in there. All right. I'd like to see, what do you think of Biden returns going to be? Now, right now it's 2%. If you go back to Obama 2, Obama 1, those are double-digit returns for 4 years, because this is important, because once I get this information, this fact into you, then you can invest in US with confidence. Come on, type in your answer. What do you think Biden been after 4 terms? If you don't know, just type don't know. Okay, some of you put 100%, 70%. Okay, statistically, if you take statistic, you take 79, 72, 84, and 52, you're going to be like 60%. Correct not? So we are talking about 60% return from where it is. So if you look at Dow Jones right now, okay, I'm going to teach you now. It's very important. If you have a look at Dow Jones now, it's 31,000. Okay, this is 31,000. Okay, 31,000, and let's look at 60% times 1.6. So you'll be talking about 49,000. No, 49,000 going forward. How at the end of the 4 years. So that's why for me, I've been telling this story. US is going to be very, very bullish, right? Because with the green energy movement, a takeoff from where we have, and we have seen already, even in the first month in January 2021, the tech stocks, you see pop, flying, right? All the green energy in Malaysia, the Solar West, some of you did already ask me, isn't it? Right? Solar West and so forth, right? And it is happening right now. And those traditional, like your Nestle, like your FNN, like your banks, your AirAsia, and your Genting, those tak jalan, right? So we really have a shift in terms of the mega trend. Can you see it not, those of you? Can you see there's a big shift in terms of the trend of the way we work, the way we live? Now, if you do, just type shift, because that is, if I can get this information into your head, that you can see from that shift will give you this 60%, which I want to focus in, or the 40% or 50%. Hopefully, then you'll see, hey, this market is going good. This is how I want to build wealth. I'm going to make money from the stock market. Do you see that? No? If you see that, just type in shift, right? If you don't, continue to follow me, because those of you who's been following me for a year plus, or some of you are my masterclass member, you will see this dramatic shift of that. And this is a very important information that will give you the confidence. After all, tonight is about investing in US market with confidence, right? And going into it. So great, some of you able to see it. All right, yeah, some of you already seeing the shift into green energy. We have the batteries, okay, we have the hydrogen power cars, self-drive cars. I will get on to that later. Great, some of you are what we call disruptor, technology innovation disruptor. Great, but very important, when we disrupt all this technology, we are able to shift it into the stock market, and from then onwards, how am I going to make my money? It all boils back to dollar and cent. You can say, there's so much interruption, innovation, but how is it going to pocket me? How is it going to go to my pocket? Will I be able to drive my new BMW? Or will I be able to buy a new home? Will I be able to go for a world tour? Or maybe I just go up to Langkawi for holiday, right? Because it is a determining term. And once you get that kind of confidence that many of our members do, our master members, then you'll see a big shift in your wealth growth too. All right, that's the key lesson I want to share with you in here. All right, so if you look at it, let's look at the trading hours. Okay, now the trading hour for the US market, for the NYSE NASDAQ, and if you look at currently it's in New York, which is above me here, they start at 9:30 in the morning up to 4 o'clock. So when you take that into consideration, of course, there is daylight savings, and in summer there will be shift back to 9:30, but usually right now tonight 10:30 they will start to 5 o'clock in the morning. All right, 10:30 to 5 a.m. And so I tell people, try not to do intraday trading, because you're going to stay up to 4 o'clock in the morning, because a lot of action happening at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it will disrupt your sleep. What you want to do is to invest in a longer term, or use a EOD, end of day charts, on the trading view that you see inside there. All right, so remember 10:30 usually open up there. So you have the Pacific Coast in here. There's a question here. What are the richest lady in the world? There is a list for the richest lady. Definitely, they're not in the stock market. Some of them, one of them is Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey, the one with the Meghan one, Meghan and Prince Harry. A lot of controversy. Okay, let's look at the cumulative bull and market run for the New York Stock Exchange. And right now, for the bull market, as I said before, they're generally very short because why? The intervention of the U.S. Federal Reserve, they come in, like Jerome Powell before Ben Bernanke, and then you have Janet Yellen. All right, so they usually come in, and before that, there was another guy before Ben Bernanke. Okay, there's one more I can't remember. Just not off my head here. And they usually come in and intervene the market. So that's why you can see the bear market is only 14 months. Whereas the bull market, they want to stretch this as long as possible, isn't it? Because bull market means full employment, things are rosy, people can buy new cars, new home, can fly more, go for, vacation holidays. Yes, Ellen Greenspan, thank you, Helen. Ellen Greenspan's inside there. So you can see these, and what I'm trying to say is very simple. The stock market is rigged in a way that will benefit certain institutional. Let me repeat that again. The stock market is rigged that it will benefit certain institutional. And you know that institutional, which is what we talk about, those disruptors, you will make money. But you must able to rotate. And some of you already said earlier on, you're able to see that shift, like what we're seeing today. Today, not many people are going into the rubber glove, like what we saw, right? They're moving into tech stocks, and tech stock right now, they're rotating out to energy and construction in here. But that may be temporary. But you can see the big disruption that we have. Some of these will continue to go on, especially the work from home. How many of you feel that the work from home lifestyle will continue going forward? If you do, just type WFT, okay, WFT, all right? And that is what's going to happen in here. Bull market return, average one bull market is 263%. Now, why is that important? Now, you think of it, just now we talked about President Biden. Some of you say 60%, some of you say 50%. But on statistic, the bull market, we just came out from a bear market. Remember? The bear market was the COVID-19. That's right. The bear market was the COVID-19. So we are in a new bull market, ladies and gentlemen. So some of you type with Biden 63%, but on average it's 263%. So this is the best time ever to learn how to invest in US confidently and wisely. Do you agree with me now? If you agree, type in US market. So I just give you two simple facts already. If you do, just type in US market inside here. So you can look at it, the average bull market is 263%, and just now that's like Joe Biden is only starting at 2%. We are at the early stage. Of course, many of you may not believe that because you have not seen through. I have been in the market for 15 years and I still wanted to, do my time until, Warren Buffett 55 years. So, I mean, I'm starting to run now already. You guys are starting to run only. You are maybe doing first year, second year. Some of you may have done 10 years, but there were no formal training. There's no formal investment. Train trader and train investor we talk about, right? So this is formally getting you into it. Now, if you follow me for the next 10 years, I bet you will make money as much as I've done so in here. All right. So that's an important part. Now let's talk about the COVID-19, the impact of the COVID-19. As I said before, we just emerged out from a market crash in March 2020, and we're just beginning of a new bull run, 263% or 60%, or maybe we were. The odds is on our side. As I said before, the market is rigged. The market is rigged towards those institutional or towards firms. So you can see from here, when the first vaccine were announced somewhere in September this year, September last year, September 2020, you can see market really recover. Nikkei rally, Shanghai rally, Dow Jones rally, right? And market really rally a lot, having said that. So we have got out from a bear market. We are new bull market, the bull market like this. All right. So when you see me next time, do this. The bull market. This bull market is going to. But not many people realize that partly is because the lenses that we wear tend to blur us up because we don't have time, right? So I want you to open. Now, one of the major reasons why S&P 500 continued to outperform the KLSE. Now, if you look from here, all right, it's not a fair comparison. After all, the US is one of the largest largest consumer of products in the world. They're the biggest population. They have the best brands inside there, and they're largest stock market. But having said that, we must learn to, like kata, jangan di bawah tempurung lah. You all remember that. You must able to leap out from it. I think that's important. Jangan kita di bawah tempurung lah kata kan. Kita mesti beraktif nak belajar tentang negara-negara lain seperti US market kan. So you can see from here the US S&P 500 and the KLSE definitely going back to 2019, the KLSE has somewhat didn't perform way back to 2000. We are still pretty much, but the S&P 500, they have a big fall, no doubt. That was this year, right? You can see, let me just bring this up again. The laser pointer, okay. Let me bring out the laser pointer first. This was the big fall, isn't it? You can see here, right? That was that big fall. That was that bear market. And right now, we just coming up, boom, 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 all the way. So some people say that there are some risks. We will go through that too, all right? But the KLSE has just not, and also we have the general election 15-2 coming up. So there's still a lot of uncertainty right now. Some other strategy you can use is that, meanwhile, we are waiting for the G15. Take your money out, rotate out, and move on to the US market here, all right? So let's look at the S&P 500 with Warren Buffett. Now, like it or not, Warren Buffett has not been performing since 2009. One of them is because due to the low interest regime and also the technology. He already admitted that he doesn't understand what technology is about. The only technology stock that he's bought, which is actually a consumer technology, is Apple. And it has underperformed compared to the S&P 500. If you look at this chart here, let me just show you the chart inside here. The S&P 500 is the yellow one, and since definitely 2019. But if you look further back, the red one, since way down here, since 2009, okay, it has sort of, outperformed. Then it got deep below here, right? And Warren Buffett is a red line. At one point, 2018, he went through it because there was a period of relative high interest rate and then low interest rate going into, you see. So interest rate movement is important. Whereas KLSE is just sangkut lah. Sangkut. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere. So having said that, this is the fact. Buffett has not performed well since 2009. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let's talk about the Sharia investing, all right, now in the US side. Now, the Sharia investing US from the Malaysian perspective, this is from the Bursa chairman, Tan Sri Abdul Wahid Omar, and he talks about how fintech has developed. One of the things that really came out was Wahib Invest, which I actually look at it, all right? So for those of you who are Muslim, please do your due diligence and see whether this is something fit for you. He mentioned Wahib, Kal Hassan, Hello Go, that's a Go investment, and Best Invest. So Islamic finance is no longer confined in the Malaysia, but also in the US market in here. Now, if you look at Wahib, which is actually a robo-advisor, very similar to Stash Away, but it is Sharia compliance. That's only different. So those of you who are, how many of you heard of Wahib Invest? Just type in Wahib or Invest. All right, and it's actually a robo-advisor for targeting the Muslim and beyond. It's, I suppose they have drawn more than 150,000 clients over there. So something for our Malay friends, for our Muslim friends who use this as an instrument to get into the US market. But at the end of it, you're actually buying a unit trust. Do keep in mind. So when it comes to, apologize for that one. So when it comes to the US market, all right, this is an ETF. Exchange traded fund, which I've talked about in the past. Basically, it is a fund of many other things. So have you heard of HLAL? I don't know how you pronounce it. It's called halal. HALAL. Halal, actually short name for halal, but it's called HLAL. And what it does is actually mimic the stocks that you have. So for those of you, like I said before, if there is a potential, this market is going to go up and you want to put in some money, the easiest way, no need to think, invest longer term, buy an ETF. All right, now what's inside this? Wahib, all right, Wahib, the fund managers who is doing this is actually a Sharia compliance. They are Sharia compliance. Again, every Sharia compliance, I understand, is different from country to country, which is based on the advisor of the group who is appointed. Now, they did say that they are the certified Sharia compliant index, and I believe they're from the Middle East, judging from many looks of them. They are from Middle East. You can check it out in here. The Sharia index contain US market, and they meet a certain criteria for that one. That's all. So what are the criteria? Definitely the criteria is filtered out from the FTSE Sharia US index, and they are no debt, no alcohol, no firearm, no impure food stock as opposed to non-halal food stock, usurious institute, I don't know what, adult entertainment, gambling, and tobacco. And also when it comes to interest, they're pretty specific on that one. Debt cannot be 1/3 of total asset. Then the cash interest bearing must be less than 33%, accounts, and also interest calculation too. So they do follow it. Now, if you think that this satisfied you, again, do your due diligence. Just go and type halal, HLAL, Wahib, and check it out. All right, because this is one way you can get exposure to the US market in here. All right, so what is in the top component? Now, of course, those of you who do not like to get HLAL, they are the top 25 holdings. I've shown you the top 10 on the left hand side and the other top. So what are those? Apple, Tesla, Johnson & Johnson, that's the one with the Johnson & Johnson, isn't it? P&G, Home Depot, Intel, Abbott, Adobe, Thermo Fisher, Pfizer, you know, the injection one, the healthcare. You got Merck, Salesforce, ExxonMobil, Cisco, Qualcomm, that makes the 5G phones. Lilly is the pharmaceutical. Chevron is the oil and gas. Nike, you know, like the Casot, and you know, we have the games and Nike done pretty well. NBA. Then you have the Texas Instrument, right, used to make the chips. Medtronics, who make the medical equipment. Danaher and Bristol Myers and Lindell, which is actually another version of KGB lah. They make all the gases inside. So this itself, you can take a picture of this one in here, and you can use this as some of those stocks in there. Now there are other stocks. Just go over to their website, the ETF. I just type ETF HLAA Wahib, and you can download this Excel spreadsheet. They have about another 215 of these stocks that which they go through the halal. You can see account halal, and you can see from alphabetically order. Even here you can see Applied Magnetics, AMD, which make all those chips, as well as the Bitcoin chips. AMD, they have some of them in use also on that one. They do that, and definitely you have exposure. So how do you use that? When you see this counter, go over and use the Pentagon Guider or use any of the trading system chart here. If there's a good entry, then you can buy it. So this is one. US stock can come for. Now US stocks, you can buy one share. You can buy. The only thing, my biggest concern is there's two options. I'm going to give you two options today at the end of this talk, how to open up a US account. If you like to open up a US account, how many of you like to open up a US account and not pay more? Okay, just type there, US account. Please type in there, US account, and not pay more from what it is. We'll give you two options, because some of you who's not well versed don't want to take your money out, want to keep it in local. We have that one. And some of you who want to don't want to pay so much for the commission, we also have that option. Now, how many of you want to open up a US account? Just type it in there. Then at least I know how we can able to help you there. All right. So going forward, all right, because I felt that because the accounts that I already opened will be the same account you'll be opening too. So we are in the same line. So we are able, in some way, I'm not able to help you on this one. All right. So you can see there is a market risk. Let's talk about market risk. Not everything is very rosy here. All right. Some of you may already have like the popular one like Robinhood, but we want to do something even easier, not too far away. All right. Great. Those of you are typing the US account here, right? But don't pay. We don't want you to pay too much. Okay. So let's look at the first risk. Okay, let's talk about the risk, where the US market right now, it's overvalued and it's expensive. And that's why you see a lot of analysts predicting market crash. Now, this is from the current market valuation in here. You can see March 5th, 77%, where it goes beyond 2 standard deviations. The last time where they went was year 2000. You can see that. That's a long time ago, isn't it? Year 2000, that's like 20 years ago. It has gone up here. And every time when it gone up here, the market will turn. So this is where it has gone up to 2 standard deviation. And on the, let me see, even on 2020, you'll notice, this is 2020, 2020, it did not go below the historical low. This one that you see here is 2009, the global financial crisis. That's the financial crisis. That's right, financial crisis. Up here is where we are. So like it or not, we have this so-called momentum that the market is going higher. Everything expensive. We know growth is expensive. Some are 35 times, 40 times. And this weekend, right, I hope you can join me on the basic fundamental analysis that we are doing at 10 o'clock this Saturday. I will talk more about fundamental and talk about certain about valuation and also about growth. So make sure you join me. This one we will spend more time on the fundamental indicators. We'll do some case study, Malaysian and also US side. So that will give, and that's totally free, of course. The link is on our Telegram chat room. All right, or we also post it out on the Facebook. If not, I will have a link for you. You can actually go on the link and register, and I'll see you this Saturday that we'll touch on the fundamental analysis. And of course, it's absolutely free, our talks inside here. Then the second big risk is the higher interest rate. Now you can see way back in 2018, as I talked about, when the interest rate is high, that's where value stock like Warren Buffett will outperform. Okay, it will outperform. And when the shares are low, you can see 2019 onwards, again low, that's where Warren Buffett share didn't perform. It's all got to do with the interest rate. I will explain more this coming Saturday. So interest rate, when it's high, it seems to be a tax to the economic activity. That's why it's a tax to economic activity. So high interest rate going forward. So even right now, as I talk about Bank Negara, it's not cutting more interest rate because they felt that any more low, it's very difficult for the bank to make money. They will still maintain it, right? And it allowed inflation to come in. So having said that, that's why a lot of bank stocks are recovering because of the interest rate that we see. So you can see this part where we right now, the 1st of March here. This is part where the interest rate gone up, where the present value of the technology stocks, because they are considered worth less in the market, and they are coming down right now. So this is what's happening in here. Okay. So what we have, number 3 now, is the debt. You all know how bad the debt is. When Obama left and gave the job to Donald Trump, it was at 17 trillion. And of course, Donald Trump raked it up until about 18 to about 26 million, like 26 trillion. And now Biden comes in, rake it up to 28 trillion. This is on the US debtclock.org. So bottom line is, you saw the slide number 2, a 1.5% interest rate, right, of 28 trillion. That is 420 billion. Or 35 billion per month. So it's very, very expensive for US, to be frank with you, if the interest rate go high. So what's going to happen if the interest rate continue to go higher? They will do asset purchase program, meaning they'll buy all their bonds, all right? Because when bonds price goes up, interest rate come down. They have no choice, because if interest rate is high, it's considered as a tax, but at the same time, they're going to pay more interest rate. So they are in kind of a dilemma. They have no choice, continue to push the bucket down the road, right? So on this basis itself, there is an impending debt. Again, what you see inside here, some debts are not too bad. In this case, this debt, if you compare the US debts to the Chinese and the China, they are one of the largest debt, but yet the innovation and technology, they are able still continue to do this, all right? I think Franz said that my calculation is wrong. Do let me know which part is wrong. 1.5% of 28 trillion. Okay, if that's the one, correct me. It could be 42 billion or 3.5 billion. But definitely we will see the interest rate they have to pay is up. Okay, so what are the stock market risks that's concerning US? It boils down to these 4 things. All right, we boil down the first 4 things. Number 1, inflation. The fastest rate, the first one is inflation, because as the market recover now, you have inflation going up. So interest rate is going up. So once interest rate is going up, they need to keep that interest rate down. They have to print money. They have to buy bonds. So to buy bonds, they have to print money. That's why you have the fastest rate of money supply increment in history. So they're printing money. It's no different from what we have with the QE. All right. So the number 3 is the massive debt to service. Now we just saw, right, 28 trillion, so they have to continue to calculate in here. And number 4, they cannot raise interest rate, so they are on this cycle of forever in debts. So from a conservative standpoint, they will always be in debt. This is how bad the US market is. So keep in mind, Malaysia is not that far from it too. Malaysia GDP is of it. We are almost at that threshold. So at the end of it, how do we proceed this, right? That's why we buy individual stocks. right? We buy companies that are able to innovate, like what I've done the last 10-15 years, able to do it. No doubt there will be another major crash that is coming up, but I don't think so soon yet. Having said that, touch wood, but we don't know. So let's talk about the risk and opportunity with the right system. Now, who is the greatest and successful investor of all time? I'm going to ask you this question. Right, it's Warren Buffett, right? And how much did he achieve? 14.9%. All right, so let me just write this down for you guys. Right, okay. So world greatest and successful investor, Warren Buffett, 14.9%. So how can this rate of return make him the richest man? It is the power of compounding return. Okay, so number one answer is Warren Buffett. Number two, he's made 14.9%. Okay, I give you the answer there. Okay, and number three is compounding return. Now, assume you start with 10,000, and if you can make 15% return consistently every year, how much do you get after 15 years? All right, what do you think? So what we did is to build up a table, and this is something I've done for many of our members and those of you who come to our masterclass, where you start off with 10,000 ringgit, and every 5 years you top up. Some of you may have more money, you do 100,000, and on the interest growth every year, make 8%, right? You will hit, of course, we will try to go for 15% because Warren Buffett can make 14.9. We want to go for 15. My record is about 15% for the last 15 years in here. And if you do that, your 10,000, depending where you start, will hit 500,000 in 20 years. Some of you may be faster, but to be frank with you, the earlier one that I did in 4 or 5 years was much faster. It's about 20 or 30% growth per year in here. Just talk about Bitcoin for sure. Bitcoin last year already went up 300%. Correct. They went up by 300%, and this year another 300% growth. So part of the investment portfolio that we go on US will also include the Bitcoin shares, which I'll talk about it on the 20th December in here, and also some of the technology stocks inside here. I find that I'm very confident going forward with the information that I have and share with you that you can also benefit to it too. Okay, so how are we going to do it? To invest confidently, definitely we want to use Pentagon, right, to tell us when to get in and when to get out. I think many of you would have known that. Let's look at some of the stocks that we have in here. So right now, Apple, you can see it's right about $126 in here. Tesla has went down to $550, and guess what? We just need to wait for the green Pentagon. That's right. Once the green Pentagon come, it's all the way go in, right? And you're going to give us a nice level to really push forward, going forward inside there. And how about Facebook and Amazon? Amazon has fallen from 3,400 to 3,000. That's almost a 10% drop inside there. And you have Facebook 285 to 265, another 10% drop. Most of them are falling about 10%. So what does that mean? Means we can wait for the green Pentagon, or we can look for some what we call shorter time frame trade setup that we teach in our masterclass, and then you're able to profit that. So the time and opportunity is there, and definitely opening the first free US accounts opening will give you some leadway. All right, so if you have 100 ringgit, this going back to the past, right? Again, this is again the best case scenario for 2009 to 2019. Your 100 ringgit, if you invested in Netflix, will be 3,009. If you invested in Broadcom, which is the brother of Inari, it will be $2,000, and the list just goes on. T2, Amazon will be 1,003, and so forth. So what we're trying to do is try to build a portfolio, right, that we're able to benefit. If you can get 15% compounding, right, for 10 years, right, and if you start with $10,000, it is possible to hit $500,000, and we want to get it started right now. And that's one of my message to you is very important to do this too. Right, because the mega trend is this. So I don't have time to talk on this one. I will keep this for Saturday, but I usually talk about this on the 20th. These are the 6 mega trend, and some of you who have noticed I've talked about this inside here. This is for the mega trend 2021. Those are the sectors, right? You want to look, you can take a picture of this in here. I wouldn't have time to talk about it, but take note, these are the 6 mega trend that is going to grow for 2021 in here. So join me on Saturday, if not next Sunday. I will talk more about this one in here, all right, with the Bitcoin. Now, Elon Musk said anyone can learn And that's the only way we talk about Warren Buffett just now, continue to learn when he's 90 years old. And in many ways, I'm also learning from you all and learning about the stock market in here. So continue to learn is definitely good. Tips to stay young, continue to learn. So this is a number that you want to take note of this number in here. Okay. How do we activate Smart Robie for Dow? It's not available yet. We are still back testing it for the final green light. Eventually, we have Smart Robie for the US for the S&P 500. All right. So this is the line that you want to call 018-661-9761. All right. And for the best options you explore. And of course, when you successfully open a US market, you will get 1,000 free credit Smart Robie open with the right broker. That's right. So this is a free US market accounts online discount opening. So take note of that one. This is the number to call, and from all you can just type in Smart Robie, and there's a button called online trading. In Smart Robie, there's the tab menu on the bottom right. Hit that one. This number will come out. 018-661-9761. That's the number you call to open up a free US accounts opening, and it's a discount broker. All right. So of course, we have our masterclass, and the intake is for April. Part of the cost, about 30 to 40% almost we spend one day, is the US market. So this is sort of like a prerequisite to why US market gives the kind of opportunity. And more importantly, we want to give you a system, a coaching, a mentoring, how to put you in the right track in here. Our April intake is available. So mark your calendar, 9, 10, 11, and 21 in here, and we'll be trading the US and the KLSE market in here. And we're also going to have every 2 months the US session in here. You can attend this for the next re-attendance almost many times a year. Okay, we do it every 2 to 3 months. So once you come for the April one, you can also come for the June and the August and so on and so forth. And we do many weekly trainings too. So you are not just getting the software, but you're also getting from our top coach and our top trainer, and plus myself, all the research material for the US market. If you find that whatever you have today is beneficial, give me a thumbs up in here. All right. So that also include the Bitcoin too. All right, and our coaches in here continue to update themselves. So formalize your education through our masterclass coaching, and these are our coaches. And you all know Zac and Arif, and also Marina, and also Fu. During that time, we were doing this over Zoom in here. All right, and we'll be giving a lot of you screener too, and not to forget the US screener for the NASDAQ and also the KL. All this for our April setup. So think about it. I think it's certainly a good investment of your time, those of you who've been following me here. But of course, if not, do join us again this coming Saturday. That's right, 10 to 12 o'clock. And this is the QR code. All right, this is a QR code in here. You can snapshot, join me on the Zoom. We will start you on the basic or fundamental. We'll be looking at topics of some case study of some Malaysian company, how well they fare in the past, and how to look for the right stock. That's right, some of the right stock will give you some free tools, free information in there, everything free, so to put you in the right path. So this is definitely a free, and don't wait for. Of course, volume spread analysis continue to be our main dominant. You can see we've been getting very good responses in there. Thank you very much for it. And also, please continue to review us in our page in here, in our Google and Facebook in here. This is the QR code. I will really appreciate if you go and review us, so we will continue to update ourselves. Of course, the main event that we saw and we talk about is the one-day value growth investing call. As I said before, you just need to share Smart Robie to 2 other friends, and you'll get 800 points. All you gotta do, this course is totally free for you, and we'll be talking about Bitcoin. I think there will be some wealth money making in Bitcoin, and those of you who don't understand Bitcoin, definitely I'm going to touch on to that. I don't want you to miss out on this. I think this is one of the biggest opportunity coming in there. If tonight, just check out where you see Bitcoin. I think by the time we meet on Saturday, maybe hit 58,000 a day. Okay. So definitely then we have another free course. Again, Zoom, a lot of free course. 3rd of April, technical analysis with trading view for beginner. On the 3rd of April, that's after the following week. So almost every weekend we have free courses to put you up into the right speed of things, right? So we come to the end of our talk, and I hope you can give us a good token appreciation. There is 2 QR code on top here. Please go over to Facebook, or I prefer the Google Play Store, the My Google, and review us so we give you a good service, all right? Whether it is the US accounts opening or the information that we presented, and also do take a look at the construction sector for our Malaysian market inside here. So thank you very much. Thank you for your time spent. I think many of you are, we are quite late into the late evening in here. Thank you very much. If not, I'll see you on Friday. If not sooner, many of you, I'll see you on Saturday at 10 a.m. for the beginner analysis for fundamental. All right. See you then. Bye-bye.